kettle on now, warming up. And I found this lovely soft blanket for you. Help warm up those bones of yours. Why are you still standing there in the middle of the room? You can sit down. Yes, I'm aware that your clothing is wet. That's what happens when you go traipsing through the snow for who knows how long. You won't ruin the furniture, I promise. Here, why don't you sit right in that nice comfy armchair there by the fire? It's a very, very lovely chair. You know, it was actually made by my grandfather for a wedding gift for my grandmother. He spent months making sure everything was just perfect. That the frame of it was a nice curvature where you sit down and it feels like a lovely hug. And it's nice and soft, but not too soft where you feel like you cannot get out of the chair. The only problem was, once she got the one chair, it was so nice that she wanted him to make her another one. I've only got the one chair here. My brother got the other one. He wasn't interested in it at all until I said that I wanted the pair of them, and then of course he had to have one too. Very typical. But it is quite comfortable and very well made, so you enjoy it. Here, we've got your wet cloak off, but let's use this nice warm blanket too, okay? There. Very lovely, lovely quality wool that this was knit out of. Nice and warm there. You looked absolutely chilled to the bone when you came and knocked on my door. Hopefully this will help you feel a bit less frozen. Good. Now, if you don't mind me asking, what exactly were you doing traipsing through the snow today? Ah, snowberries. That is a noble endeavour of young hobbits, isn't it? It's unfortunate that they are at their ripest and sweetest when it is the most bitter cold outside. But I suppose that's what makes it sort of an adventure, isn't it? You know, one time when I was little, my brother and I went out searching for snowberries. We spent all day looking through the forest. We couldn't find a single bush of snowberries. It was so disappointing. And then, right at dusk, right as we were losing our light and we knew we wouldn't be able to see anything enough to actually see any, we found a snowberry bush. We were so excited, we rushed to go pick the berries and realised there were only about 4 on the entire bush that hadn't been eaten by birds. Quite a disappointing day. I hope your day was a bit more successful. Oh, good, good. I'm glad to hear it. Oh, you've got quite the haul here, haven't you? You must have found a few different snowberry bushes. Good, good. I don't think quite as many young hobbits go out looking for them these days, so I suppose that means that when you do, you get rewarded, don't you? Delightful. No, my dear, you don't have to share these with me. I'm sure you were picking them for your family. They'll be very happy to have them when you get home. Now, speaking of home, it is quite dark out there and, as I'm sure you can attest to, quite cold. Would your family be worried if you didn't come home tonight, or would it be all right for you to spend the night here in one of our spare bedrooms? Ah, good. Well, you're not very close to that inn if you were planning to stay there. You must have gotten very lost in your wandering. No matter. Now you're here. Now I can make sure that you are nice and comfortable. Ah, that'll be the kettle. Why don't you get nice and comfortable? I'll be right back. are. Nice hot water there. Now, as far as what kind of tea you would like, do you have a strong preference? Alright, well, I've got a few different kinds here. This is a blend that I make myself from my garden. I call it my Autumn Eve tea. It's got some lovely dried apple and some cinnamon in there, a few other spices, and then some lovely vanilla. It's quite a nice warm blend to it. Maybe that would be nice to warm up those bones a bit. Or we've got this one. This is a lovely one for helping you fall asleep, easing the mind and soothing the body to help encourage some lovely peaceful dreams. It's got some lavender in it and some chamomile, a few other lovely herbs to help calm the mind. Or I've got this lovely spiced tea here. This one has some nutmeg, cinnamon again, as well as a few very exotic spices that one of my nephews brought home from some crazy adventure he went on. This could be a very lovely one as well. Which of those do you think sounds the best to you? Excellent choice, excellent choice. Here we are. It smells quite lovely, doesn't it? A beautiful blend there. Just going to put some of that in here, alright? Get a nice little spoonful there. There we go, and then that can just go right in the hot water. The teacup. Oh yes, it is quite a nice set. These were, I believe they were my great-grandmother's originally. There we are. I love this little teaspoon too. You can put it in there, but it's got those holes, so it works as a tea steeper and a spoon to stir all in one. There you are. Now, with a herbal tea like this, you don't need to let it steep for very long. In fact, if you keep the tea in there too long, it actually can turn a bit bitter. So, just a short amount of time is perfect. But I'll let you decide for sure. There you are. Drink that nice and slow. Let that warm, spiced flavour soothe the body. There. Now, what sort of hobbit would I be if I had someone cold and tired in my home and I didn't also offer them some food? Not a very polite one. My mother used to say when I was little that a hobbit without manners will get about as far in life as a square wheel. Not every creature in this world values manners like a hobbit. We have to set a good example, don't we? And lucky for you, you came on a baking day. I love getting to bake in the winter. Springtime is for planting and cleaning. Summer is for growing, cultivating. Autumn is for harvesting and preserving. And then winter is for baking. So I've got a lovely chocolate loaf here. Quite rich, rather filling too. So why don't you get a piece of that, eh? There you are. Of course, as I said, what sort of hobbit would I be if I didn't offer you some food? Oh, no, love, you weren't interrupting anything. I was just getting some mending done, I suppose. After everyone else has gone to bed, it's much more peaceful to sit and take care of what needs to be taken care of without having to get up 100 times. Winter is also the time for mending. You harvest the hay when the sun is out, and then when it snows, you stay inside. Always something to do. It's a simple life, I suppose. But that's what we like, isn't it? There. How's that tea for you? Good, good, I'm glad. I hope you're starting to feel a bit warmer now. Good. Well, I've got the extra bed all made up already, so you are welcome to rest here for the night. Wouldn't do any good to be traipsing all the way home when it's already so dark and cold. I don't think it's snowing quite anymore, but you never know, it might start up again. Much better to start out when it's light in the morning. Then you can have some more of this chocolate loaf for breakfast too. Or for second breakfast. There. I should do it for now. Alright. Well, you definitely look like you've got some more colour in those cheeks of yours. That's quite nice. Although, if you don't mind me saying, your skin is still looking like it's got a bit frostbitten. Not too bad, but it is a bit red. It looks rather dry. Those cold winter winds can do a number on our skin. Would you mind if I go and grab a bit of a salve we could put on your skin, soften it up a bit and start to heal it from the cold? Alright, I'll be just a moment. Alright, here we are. I think one of my other winter projects will be to make a bit more of this. It's just a very simple healing salve made with different oils and some herbs and things. It's got some rosemary in it. A wonderful healing herb that can help to restore some of that softness to the skin. And some lavender again. It's wonderful for calming the mind and for calming irritated skin. Here we are. Would you mind if I just put a bit of this on your skin for you? Alright, good, good. There we go. How's that chocolate bread? Good, I'm glad you like it. Alright, now, nice and still. Just going to put this onto your skin here where it looks like it's taken a bit of a beating from the winter winds. On the cheeks for sure. The tip of the nose. There we go. Wonderful. You're definitely looking much warmer now. Not quite so blue. No, you weren't exactly blue. Just exaggerate, but it was quite cold out there. It's certainly no fun to be caught in the middle of a snowstorm. But at least you've got a lovely bounty of snowberries to show for it. been ages since I've had a good snowberry. My mother used to make a beautiful pie with them in the winter. We would harvest our own flour from the wheat that we grew, and then she'd use it to make the crust. And then, if we found more than 4 in a day, she would make a beautiful pie filling with snowberries. Sometimes a nice tart apple goes nicely with it. Some rhubarb. Quite lovely. I should grow rhubarb this year. I haven't done that for a little while. I try to rotate my crops a bit, just making sure that they're not taking too much from the soil. But I haven't done rhubarb lately. It's a lovely tart flavour. Can add a nice mix to things, especially something fruity and very sweet. You add just a bit of that rhubarb in and it gives a nice depth of flavour. Strawberry rhubarb, that was my father's favourite. But I very much liked the snowberry rhubarb. There we are. Oh, your hand's a bit, still a bit chilly too. Well, why don't we use some of this on your hands as well? They certainly do quite a lot for us, our hands. And because of that, they often have the most wear and tear, don't they? Hands, please. There we go. I'll just rub that in nice there. Your fingers are still feeling a bit chilly there. I'll put another log on the fire too. Keep that nice and warm all night for you. Now our guest room is not anything too fancy. Not exactly the biggest hobbit hole here, but it's warm, it's dry, it's clean. Should have all of the basic comforts at least. Good, good. Probably much better than a crowded inn too. At least we're all relatively quiet here at night. During the day, of course, that's a different story, but you should be able to sleep peacefully. There. It's got some blood flowing through those fingers again. Good, good. And where did you say that you lived again? Oh, that's quite far. You were certainly on a quest today, weren't you? I suppose with so many snowberries that you found, that's to be expected. Quite the adventurer, aren't you? Do you also go searching for mushrooms in the summer then? Good. There's nothing like a beautiful fresh mushroom to add to a stew or other roasted vegetables. It's beautiful flavour, nice and rich. That can be quite the quest as well, can't it? There we are. How are those hands feeling? You flex them a little better now. Good, good. Would you like another piece of that bread? Of course. I make it to be eaten. Here you are, go ahead. I think I might have a bit of one too. Perhaps I shouldn't this late at night, but it is quite lovely. Here we go. It's my grandmother's recipe. Passed down from hobbit to hobbit, for generations. Nice and chocolatey, but still nice and moist too. You've got to have the right balance of things to get it to be really rich in flavour, but not too heavy. Good, I'm glad you like it. It's a guarded family secret though, so don't be going asking for the recipe. Well, I won't be sharing the recipe, but it's always a delight to get to share the bread, especially with a new friend. I know you were quite cold and miserable when you first got here, but I'm glad it was my door that you knocked on. It's been lovely to get to know you, and I'm very pleased that you're not spending more time trying to get to the inn so far away when you've got a nice, warm, comfortable bed here. Well, we've got your cloak and your boots over here by the fire, and just down there is our guest room where you can be sleeping for the night, alright? It should still be nice and warm. It's rather close to the fire here. Of course, if you need anything else, just let me know. What sort of a hobbit would I be if I didn't make sure that my guest was perfectly comfortable? Good, good. I'm glad that you're feeling comfortable now. You are looking a bit sleepy too. Sounds like you've had quite a busy day. I'm guessing you were out at first light on your wonderful quest, weren't you? Good. I'm glad that the pursuit of snowberries is not something that's been entirely lost to the generations. Always good to see the traditions continued. Even the very, very cold ones. Well, feel free to sit up as long as you'd like, but also feel free to head to bed whenever you need to. I'm guessing you'll want to be getting home at first light too, but there should still be time for a nice hearty breakfast. And I'll send you with some bread for second breakfast too. Alright. Well, as I said, if you need anything else, you just come and find me, okay? Otherwise, sleep well.